Good morning, students. Today I will teach you a last lesson, the beggar. It's very interesting story of a person who is a beggar, but by the chance happenings and by the blessings of a person, or we can say that the destiny plays a role in his life, that he becomes a good person and not a beggar anymore. So how this is happens, that will be shared to you in this lesson. Okay, the starting is like that. Okay, in it's the beggar, the narrator is going and he kind sir, have pity. Turn your attention to a poor, hungry man. Here, the beggar is demanding to a person, means to the narrator, to have pity on him, to pay the attention to the poor, hungry man. For 3 days, I have had nothing to eat. The reason why he is begging because for the 3 days he is having nothing to eat. I haven't 5 kopecks for a lodging. I swear it before God. Means he is swearing, means he is having the swear of God that he is not eating a meal for the 3 days. For 8 years, I was a village school teacher and then I lost my place to intrigues. I felt a victim to calumny in a year now since I have had nothing to do. He is a victim to calumny, so that's why he lost his service as a teacher, and for the last year he was here for begging. The advocate Sergei, who is Sergei here, the advocate, our narrator, looked at the ragged lawn colored overcoat of the suppliant, at his dull drunken eyes. Whose drunken eyes? The beggar. Okay, so Sagai took a look over that person at the red spot on either cheek, and it seemed to him as if he had seen this man somewhere before. And Sagai remembered that he has seen this man before. I have now had an offer of a position in the province of Kalyuga. The mendicant went on, but I haven't the money to get there. Help me kindly. I'm ashamed to ask, but I'm obliged to my circumstances. Yeah, the beggar is appealing once again, saying that he has nothing to do and he is ashamed of doing things, but he has no option else it. Sergei's eyes fell on the man's overshoes, one of which was high and the other low, and he suddenly remembered something. Look here, it seems to me I met you the day before yesterday in Sadovia Street, he said, but you told me then what that you were a student who had been expelled. Okay, the other time that beggar identify himself as a student, now he is identifying himself as a teacher. No, that can't be so, mumbled the beggar, taken aback. I'm a village school teacher, and if you like, I can show you my papers. So he was saying that he is a beggar, and he could show that he was a teacher at one time. I have done with the lying. You call yourself a student and even told me what you had been expelled for. Don't you remember? But Sergei is again remembering that he was again telling a lie to him. Sergei flushed and turned from the ragged creature with an expression of disgust. Now he was uh, not in a good feeling to see that that man is lying. This is dishonesty, my dear sir, he cried angrily. This is swindling. I shall send the police for you, damn you. Sir, he said, laying his hand on his heart, the fact is I was lying. I'm neither a student nor a school teacher. Now that person is saying, as Sergei said that I will call a police to catch you because you are lying. He was what he saying, that neither he was a student or a school teacher. That was fiction. That was all the imaginary things. Formerly, I sang in a Russian choir and was sent away for drunkenness. He said now that he was a singer in a jar, and he was expelled for the drunkenness. But what else can I do? I can't get along without lying. No one will give me anything when I tell the truth. Now that's the fact that he was telling the lie, that if he will tell the truth, nobody will give him the work. What can I do? What can you do? You ask what you can do. Cried Sergei, coming too close to him. Work. That's what you can do. You must work. Work, yes. Okay, in this way, he was saying that you should do the work. Now the Sergei is offering him work at his yard where he can chop the wood for him. He was not ready to chop the wood, but that beggar was caught red-handedly by Sergei. So he said nothing and he moved on with Sergei to his house. Here's the Olga. He said, take this gentleman into the woodshed and let him chop wood. He said to his maid Olga to let that man uh, go into the woodshed and let him chop the wood. The scarecrow of a beggar shrugged his shoulders as if in perplexity and went irresolutely after the cook. It was obvious from his scare that he had not yet consented to go. Means the beggar was not ready to go in, but simply from pride and shame, and because he had been trapped by his own words. Trapped by his own words because he said that if he will tell the truth, nobody will give him work. And Sergei was ready to give him work, but he was not ready to do the work, but he had to go due to the shame and due to his words. He was obvious too that his strength had been undermined by vodka and that he was unhealthy and did not feel the slightest inclination for toil. Means because he was drunken, he was hungry, he was not having that kind of health that can do the work. Sergei hurried into the dining room. From its window, one could see the woodshed. Means Sergei went into the dining room. From there, he can see that man and the cook. Cook is Olga, and the beggar came into the out in the back door and make their way across the dirty snow to the shed. Olga glared wrathfully at her companion, showed him aside with her elbow, unlocked the shed, and angrily hanged the door. Means Olga was not ready to open the door with that person, but she did it. Next, he saw the pseudo teacher seat himself on a log and become lost in thought with his red cheeks resting on his fists. The woman flung down an axe at his feet, spat angrily, and, judging from the expression of her lips, began to scold him. The beggar irresolutely pulled a bullet of wood towards him, set it up between his feet, and trapped it. Means that beggar is trying to chop the wood. He was not in a condition to chop, but he was trying. And Olga was seeing that person scolding him that he was not doing the work. The beggar again pulled it to him, blew on his freezing hands, and tapped it with his axe cautiously, as if afraid of hitting his overshoes or of cutting off his finger. Means he was afraid whether he could cut his finger or not. Sergei's anger had vanished, and he now began to feel a little sorry and ashamed of himself for having set a spoiled, drunken, perhaps sick man. These are the things which perhaps made that man not to do work. An hour later, Olga came in and announced that the wood had all been chopped. Uh, when the Sergei was feeling ashamed that he should not do this type of things to that beggar because he was hungry, he was not having anything, he was drunk, he was not having a good health, so perhaps he would not be able to chop the wood. But Olga came and said that the odd wood had been chopped. Good. Give him half a ruble, said Sergei. If he wants, he can come back and cut wood. Means he again said him to come. Okay, on the first of the month, the the wife made his appearance and again earned half a ruble, although he could barely stand on his legs. Means again he came, again he earned the ruble. Okay, and work was done. So this was proceedings. Okay, when Vargai moved into another house, he hired him to help. Okay, this was going on, and Sargai have to move into the other house. Then he hired him to help him in arranging the things into the new house. He did all the best he could, uh, whether he may be weak, feeble, but he tried a lot to do the work. Well, I'm happy that my words have taken effect, he said, handing him a ruble. There is for your pains. I see you are sober and have no objection to work. What's your name? Lakshov. Now we come to know the name of the beggar, that is Lakshov. Well, Lakshov, I can offer you some other cleaner employment. Can you write? I can. He said that I can write. Okay, then take this letter to a friend of mine tomorrow, and you will be given same copying to do. Means he was sending him. Sergey was sending to the beggar. Who's beggar? Naam Laksha. So for the working to his friend. Okay, work hard, don't think, and remember what I've said to you. Goodbye. Pleased at having put a man on the right path, Sergey tapped Lakshov's kindly on the shoulder and gave him his hand at parting. Okay, 2 years went by. Then one evening, as Sergey was standing at the ticket window of a theater paying for his seat, he noticed a little man beside him with a coat collar of curly fur and a worn sealskin cap. This little individual timidly asked the ticket seller for a seat in the gallery and paid for it in copper coins. Means he saw Lakshov there. Lakshov, is that you? Cried Sergei, recognizing in the little man his former wood chopper. How are you? What are you doing? How is everything with you? All right, I'm a notary now and I'm paid 35 rubles a month. Okay, he was having a half a ruble, but now he was having 35. Thank God, that's fine. I'm delighted for your sake. Now he was very happy, Sergei, to know that he was doing good. I gave you a push along the right path, you know. Do you remember what a roasting I gave you? Thank you too, said means here in this para. Sergei was thinking that he was the person who pushed the beggar into a good work. But what is the beggar is saying? Thank you too, said Lakshov. If I hadn't come to you, and I might still have been calling myself a teacher or a student to this day. Means he was telling a lie and begging to the others. I'm very glad indeed. Thanks for you for kind words and deeds. I'm very grateful to you and to your cook. God bless that good and noble woman. Now what he's saying? He was blessing to the noble woman who was blessing Lakshov. To whom? Olga. You spake finally then, and I shall be indebted to you to my dying day. But strictly speaking, it was your cook Olga who saved me. But what is he saying? That it was Olga who saved me for not going on a wrong path. How's that? When I used to come to your house to chop wood, she used to begin. Oh, you sought you, oh, so miserable creature. Means here the cursings of the Olga, which she used to say to the man who is drunken, who is sick, who is begging, who is doing nothing. And by these words of that woman, he was entirely shaken. And not only this, Olga has cut all the wood for that drunken person, but she didn't say this to Sergei. She used to chop wood for me. Do you know, sir, that I didn't chop one single stick of wood for you? She did it all. Why this saved me, why I changed, why I stopped thinking at the sight of her, I can't explain. Means he was unable to explain why her words made an effect on him. I only know that owing to her words and noble deeds, a change took place to my heart. Means he got a rebel just because of Olga work. Okay, and always Olga say, "Oh, you miserable person, you ruin yourself." These words change his life. She'll set me right, and I shall never forget it. However, it's time to go now. There goes the bell. Lakshov bowed and departed to the gallery. So Lakshov moves here. Here, as you know, our lesson is titled Beggar. Okay, it's very aptly titled because it depends upon the begging of a person. And the beggar's life was totally changed by a woman, Olga, who not only helped him in the times of need, but also inspired him to work and not to drink again. So, students, that's all in your this lesson. I suppose that will help you. Thank you.